Hello and welcome to a new guide. We will have human against human today. It will be the infamous human mirror. And in this guide I will focus on the breaker wars, because we have these tier 2 battles in the human mirror where a lot of breakers on both sides actually appear, and the heroes are not that important anymore because we just have breakers that don't die, they get healed up at priest all the time, and we have these really long fights, like nothing is dying for the viewer. Most of the time it's really disturbing because you cannot really figure out who is like the leading part and who is like completely falling apart in this type of game. So we will go into a game, I quickly stop the music, and we will go into a game that I play myself against atheistp and Vetter. It's a game from March, so this is quite some time ago. But you will see it's still accordingly to the strategy, and I can point out so much stuff because I wanted to find a replay that is kinda up to date, but all the Chinese players do some crazy stuff most of the time, tier 3 teching, tier 2 expansions, and this is not what we want to get into. We want to get into the breaker wars and what it means to like control your breakers efficiently, as well as your priest, and keep your units alive and your hero in a good position, and so on and so on. So here we will have the typical Archmage with the Panda edition at tier 2 against an Archmage and Mountain King. So this is like how this whole setup works. For this we will jump into the game real quick, as you can see it here. The map is Secret Valley. I will disable the Fog of War here because we want to see what's actually going on both sides. I'm the blue human spawning here on Secret Valley in the bottom half of the map, while on the top here in the red human is Mr. Yatsavak, also known as atheistp. He goes for the same build that all the human players go. The altar, followed up with the barracks, later the first farm, then the second farm. On my side, my opening is a little bit different from that. You wouldn't usually see that. This is an altar here, Altar of Kings, with 2 peons power build, like you would do it on Twisted for example, and a fast farm to follow it up so that you can get your first hero out like super quick. I will pause here once again, just to explain you. I want my hero out to be like on the field before his hero spawns. So I can travel the whole distance to his map. We will see it here later in the game. I will just try to go inside his main base and maybe kill 1 or 2 peasants. With that, and creeping in the meantime here with the Mortar Elemental and 6 of my militias, or 7 or 8, all the militias that I got on wood, I will use them for this here, I get level 2 out of this. So this is a slight adaptation of what you can do in early game. You can do the standard opening, or you can do this kind of fancy different opening that I like to play on some maps, especially on Secret Valley, because I think it's a really cool start. You can put a lot of pressure onto your opponent. I like this really aggressive style right from the start, so I decided to go for that. I do it every now and then, I mix it up every now and then. Sometimes I do this standard kind of opening also, where everything is normal, my opponent knows what I'm throwing at him and he knows my timings and shit. But sometimes I like to have a little bit of faster altar, because all the timings there will be different from there. So after constructing my altar real quick, we will not pay too much attention to the opening here, because we will go into the later stages where the breakers play an important role, but first of all we have to make it there, and I want to point out what you can do in the early game to be more successful maybe in your human mirror, or just get a better understanding whenever you see a human mirror, that you know, okay, you're supposed to do this, or this is good, this is bad, and why certain stuff is good and why certain stuff is bad. So my Archmage comes out here at minute, I don't know, minute 1 and 45 seconds, where the other Archmage still gets like 25% to be done. He gets the 3rd farm already, he gets the scout tower. On my side you can see I spawned the first water elemental while my Archmage is here already on the way to his main base. And with the first water elemental, and let's see, this is 7 militias, I creep the whole camp, almost get tier 2 out of it. And I kind of forced him to stay in his main base, you can see it. Usually he wants to creep himself, wants to be level 2 real quick, but this is not going like he planned it. Because he went for this normal opening, and this kind of tells you that your opponent really wants to have this early tier 2 or early level 2. But right now I got like almost level 2 by creeping it only with my peasant. I am not taking too much damage on all of them, so it looks kinda good here. He decides to go for a super small camp in front of the main base, the green camp, so I'm kind of forcing him already onto my game. I really want to have him on my terms. And right now I try to get 1 of his peasants, but they are still full HP. My water elemental is outside of the base, and we see a full wall off, so it will not be able to enter the main base anytime soon. Tower finishes also in time. We see a few militias being called against the little harassment that I wanted to start. My main base, we also see the heroes from him. I will keep track of this, send accordingly like 2 or 3 militias, 1 footman. Just let the footman follow the other one, because he will try to be annoying as hell, and for that I try to get like more footmen. I also get an Arcane Tower, I get the full wall off here as you can see it. In the meantime I have to retreat, there's nothing that I can do at the moment. I will try to maybe kill this little fella here to be level 2, as well as pick up the stuff that I crept earlier, so that the items are still with me. My footman lost track of his other footman, so he will go to the fountain. A few militias of him are actually creeping this nice camp next to his main base. Always cool on Secret Valley, use your militia for creeping small camps close to your main base. So I should have the amount of lumber, as you can see 186 lumber at the moment. I'm missing like 30 lumber to tech. My tech is kinda delayed for this due to this opening, but I get so much stuff out of it, just the whole I'm leading you through the game and I dictate the pace here. So for that reason I don't think that a fast attack always comes or gives you a huge advantage, so I think it's kind of okay to do that. You can see his tech is already like 45% done, where my tech is like at 10 or 50, let's say 10%. So he has like definitely a lead in that. And since he went for his fountain here, I saw that his Archmage moved up there, I decided to creep mine. And on Secret Valley, or especially in Human Mirror, it's kind of important to have your Archmage level 3 as fast as you can. And whenever your opponent gives you the time to creep something, definitely make sure to creep big camps, try to take a lot of experience. Especially here on Secret, where you have like 2 Fountain of Health, where you can heal up all your injured units. It's pretty good to just creep big camps, get a lot of experience points, get your level 3. In the meantime, because I will pause here also very quick, I get the Arcane Vault while I'm taking, because I want to heal up also my main base, not only at the fountains. So I'm not risking to like maybe die early on or be pushed into my main base and that I cannot heal up anymore. And in the meantime you will need at least 2 Arcane Towers. Most of the time I would call it 3 Arcane Towers. Because when you deal with level 2 Water Elementals, it can get really messy. You want to get rid of them as fast as you can. And in your main base, only 1 Arcane Tower is definitely not enough to get rid of them. The damage is not enough to clear off the water elements that spawn maybe outside of your main base, or maybe if he spawns them inside. 1 or 2 is not enough, so I think 3 is a really good number of Arcane Towers that you should get against an Archmage that is level 3. If you keep track of your opponent and run behind him all the time, that you know that he will not get level 3 in no time, and that he's not going to pressure you, then just get 1 tower, this should be okay, as long as you can keep track of his levels. But as soon as you get the free time, like right now, the vision that I have is like this. I only see that I can creep the fountain. I saw that he moved up to his fountain earlier on, so I'm kinda anticipating that he also tries to get level 3 as soon as he can. So for that reason I try to be a little bit faster, and maybe be faster also in his main base to harass him. So of course as soon as you hit this level 3, and you can see all my footmen are super healthy, all full HP, I go for his main base. You can see I have the amount of mana to spawn 1 water elemental. With the Solar Mask and the Brilliant Aura I should have a 2nd water elemental in quite some time. And now comes a little trick. When you run to your opponent, what you want to have, especially with the level 2 water elemental that I can spawn here, you want to locate yourself close to the forest, for example, so that you spawn the water elemental in, because when you stand in front of it and your view, for the Archmage views in the direction, then the water elemental gets spawned inside, most of the time. I think I will mess it up here if I remember that correctly. You can also position yourself here and look in this direction, like look at this direction here and close to the wall, then you can spawn it here. So the water elemental spawns inside, and he cannot squeeze through, so it's pretty important to spawn it inside, because all the damage comes with the water. Yeah, you can see I slightly turned into this direction here and the water elemental spawned outside. That was kinda bad. So whenever you hit your opponent, try to like go for the farm here, and whenever he tries to repair it, like send 2 or 3 footmen to this one, send 2 or 3 footmen to kill this peasant. Just put a lot of pressure onto his echo. Now the 2nd water element finally spawns inside, and you can see how much damage he got. Up to 39 damage. Just try to snipe the worker as hard as you can. In the meantime, try to micro away your low HP footman. You can see as soon as he goes like in orange, I try to micro them away already. And just try to like destroy a little bit of his economy. You can see here 3rd worker, or I think 4th worker died. His whole gold line is dead. I got surrounded in the meantime, but I made him bleed for that, and you can see that also the amount of lumber was not high enough to construct both Arcane Sanctums. He's sitting on, let me see, switch roles here real quick. He got 300, but he didn't get the workers to support it, and right now he can finally build the second one, but he lost a huge chunk of workers. So by losing these 5 workers, if he replaces them, or let's say he's not replacing them at all, because he thinks his wood economy is like quite good, and he's not replacing them, and then he can maybe not expand later on, because he will not have the workers to build an expansion like really quick. And if he is replacing them, he has to spend resources once again. And the only weakness in the human mirror is definitely in the main base, and just the ability to kill as many peasants as you possibly can with your level 2 water elementals. So just by decreasing your opponent's economy and efficiency in mining, you just get a huge advantage out of that. So by gaining this advantage, and also due to the fact that I knew that my tech was kind of late, because he already had his Mountain King in construction when I arrived here, and my tech was like way back. It was not done, not close to be done, and right now it's done, and I know, okay, if I get a Mountain King, it will take me quite some time to get that Mountain King. And he will have the advantage of creeping maybe 1 camp, maybe even 2 camps, a solo experience for his Mountain King, so that I risk that I will face a level 3 Mountain King with my level 1 or maybe level 2 Mountain King. So in order to not fall into this trap, I decide to go for the Panda, because the Panda I will have right away. I'm not losing any time. I call the militias as well as use 2 water elements to block, and I should give the solo experience here to the Panda. And just to keep up and creeping, keep up and leveling, give a lot of experience to my second hero already. Now I'm moving away the Archmage. Maybe not. I should move away the Archmage so that the Panda gets solo XP. Going for the Augur Magi here, trying to kill that one. Is he able to steal that? No, he's not. The experience goes to me. Nice item, especially against the Mountain King, the greater healing potion here. So, and he already got the priest, while my Aegon Sanctums are just being constructed. And whenever you can, try to construct them inside of your main base so that they cannot be harassed and cannot be denied. And the first set of units that you want to get usually is like 2 priests, and after the 2 priests you follow up with a priest adept training, as well as like 2 more priests from your other sanctum. So make sure that you are not queuing up units in that sanctum that is researching the adept training, because it will take some time, and then the units will not pop out of the buildings and you will just lower your production. So always keep track of your Aegon Sanctums and that the units get queued in the right Aegon Sanctum that is not researching any upgrades. So we jump into the game again. And this phase, after the first phase is like applying pressure to your opponent and delay his tech. If that's done, then you transition into maybe I have the free time to get my Archmage to level 3. And with the level 3, after you get the creeping done for level 3, you have this phase of I make the most use of my level 3 or level 2 water elemental that I possibly can. So whenever you hit this kind of peak, so the first starting phase is like try to like get level 2 maybe, or just try to put pressure on your opponent. After that you maybe have a window of free time where you can creep, and after this window is closed and you did the creeping, or maybe he was faster, let's say he get the level 3 a lot faster than you do, then you have to go and defend, because you cannot really afford like staying somewhere, creeping more to get level 3, because when he's applying pressure to your base and you have the 3 towers there, you still have to go back most of the time to prevent any damage taken to your main base. So let's say you are faster and you close this window that you get to creep, you are level 3, after that the harassment continues. When you have level 3, go to your opponent, try to kill as many workers as you can, try to also keep your units alive, micro them out of his main base, don't lose too much, you don't want to lose all your army just for kill a few workers. It has to be cost efficiently, maybe you have to trade blows, but at the end it has to be cost efficiently for you. And after, we have this phase of second heroes, where second heroes spawn, and most of the time the Mountain King might be a little bit stronger, because you can nuke down like the single priest that arrive at the battlefield. You can just bolt him and focus him with level 2 water elements, they fall pretty easy. But when you have a certain amount of footmen, let's say like 5, 6, 7 footmen that kept alive during the early game, you have the level 2 water elementals in place, and you can apply pressure to your opponent. The Panda can also be like super good, because when you have a high number of units, the single target spell is not that good as you would have like a AoE that we have with the Breath of Fire. So the Panda in certain scenarios it's pretty damn good. I just got him in this case here. This is also a different scenario. I just got him in this case because I don't want to delay my second hero any further. So right now Mountain King level 2 already, Panda's level 1 should be level 2 if I share the solo experience just with my Panda. And with the Solar Mask I get so much more water elementals. What's also kinda cool is get as many clarity potions as you can on your Archmage, especially when you are level 3, because you want to have as many water elementals as possible in the fights, as long as the Dispel is still on a pretty low count, because he will not have the amount of priests to get rid of all of your priests. And you can see right now he bolted one of my footmen, but the follow-up is not that strong. So I got a huge force, and a single target spell against a huge force is not doing all too much if you're not killing a hero or anything. So right now he's kind of struggling. Maybe he's able to kill this footman there, but my forces are also super strong. When you have these fights in the middle where your opponent brings his militias, definitely make sure to call the police on your side as well, because you don't want to fall into the trap where you fight militias and you keep your own workers at home. You're just like fighting against a bigger army, and that's never a good thing. So he got one priest with upgrade, I get two priests without any upgrades. The upgrade for adept training is being researched at the moment. In this footman fights you have to pay a really good look here on your units. Right now he could transition and go for my priest here. Not sure if he's doing it. No, he commits to one of my footmen once again. I got 3 priests, and the upgrade for the priest is done. So I got the adept. I can now dispel his water elements. I got 3 already, while he's sitting also finally on 3. But I think overall this looks kinda good. I will pause here also real quick just to see what's going on here. So we decide to keep fighting in the middle. I'm not sure if this is what happens on a lower level of Human Mirror. This is like kinda like good level, European level of Human Mirror, where a lot of pressure is being applied towards the middle. So whenever the workers make it back, just recall them. Because if you want to fight here, just continue the fight. And in the meantime, I realized that he's not expanding. He could be expanding because he's level 2 on his Mountain King. But I knew by creeping this camp he gets the big info potion, and you can see it on his Mountain King. So I'm aware that his expansion is not being crept. And I killed the workers early on, so I'm not kind of expecting him to go into some kind of crazy expansion that I'm completely not aware of. So for that reason I think, okay, we keep fighting. We fight it for like 2 minutes already, or maybe one and a half. And for that reason I think, okay, what's the best thing to follow this up? It's a blacksmith. Because if you have upgrades, superior upgrades above your opponent, let's say you have 2 attack upgrades or 1/1 upgrades and your opponent doesn't have any upgrades, your units are a lot stronger. Like all of your units benefit from it. The breaker, the footman, it's just really good to have like upgrades. Sometimes you lose human mirrors just because your opponent got all the upgrades. Because in the mirror it really matters how much damage you can bring on the field here. So he's adding a few more priests to his army whenever you can. Try to dispel, and make sure that your water elements are not close to each other. So they are kind of close to each other, but for some reason he decides to just dispel one. Usually you could use the dispel field to dispel both of them at the same time. So make sure that your water elementals like stay apart from each other. Like you as a human player know the distance of dispel. Make sure that the water elements always split, so that he has to spend more dispels in order to just get rid of your water elementals. And this is like pretty annoying. If you realize that your opponent is stacking his water elementals super close to each other and you can dispel them at once, it's super easy and your army will be a lot more efficient, and it's just better. With the panda, always try to hit your breath of fire into the priest, so that the priests are not healing up the front line or the heroes, so that they start healing up themselves. And what you do with the water elementals, you also use the water elements and focus the priest. The water elementals should always hit the priest if you're not focusing a hero, for example. Make sure that the water elements, because they have piercing damage, and the priest, they are unarmored, make sure that the water elements always hit them, because they do so much damage against them. So always try to dispel the water element as soon as you can from your opponent, just to get rid of it. A lot of experience comes with that, as well as the damage output of your opponent gets decreased. He is getting the militias. I ran out of militia duration here, so I'm going back. And I think from here both of us, like, we will separate ways again, and we will go into more creeping. Don't go into upkeep. Make sure that you bank at 50 supply. And in the meantime, while you are banking, get all the attack and defense upgrades that you can possibly can. So right now I'm queuing the black gunpowder upgrade. Okay, I realized that. So I'm queuing the first upgrade as well as the second upgrade. Actually, the first attack upgrade as well as the first defense upgrade. So my breakers will end up at the 1/1, which is kind of good because you have a little bit more armor, you have a little bit more damage. I think this is the right order to upgrade. Some people prefer to have like 2 attack upgrades, for example, or 2 defense upgrades. I prefer to have 1/1 because I think this is also kind of cost efficient, because the second upgrades cost like so much more. It costs like 175 gold as well as 175 wood, and these upgrades are so much more expensive. And the first attack upgrade costs 100 gold and I think 50 wood, and the defense upgrade is like 100 gold and 75 wood or something like that. It's not that cost effective. You can basically get like 1/1 for the same cost of having like just the second attack upgrade. Like it's almost the same. It's not exactly the same, but it's close to it. So to water elementals, he is not splitting them really well. The dispo is hitting both of them at the moment. You can see it. So both of the water elementals get completely shut down here. He cancels one of them with his water element, with the Archmage, is able to cancel that one. I brought Militia already as soon as I saw his army here. This requires quite some micro. Sometimes you will maybe miss a beat and you're not calling them, but as soon as you see that you're committing to a fight, I could decide, okay, I will break 50 supply. At this moment in time I decided to break it because I wanted to have the fight here. But as soon as the fight is not going to happen, I should cancel the breaker here to go back into 49 supply and don't lose any gold to upkeep. So this is a slight mistake from me. Also not granting my Panda here the solo experience, also a mistake by me. I should definitely bring him up to level 3, he's so much stronger. As a second skill I always prefer to have the critical strike as well as the evasion, because with the third skill it's a passive one. You get a critical chance to hit your opponent with a critical strike to do some more damage, as well as you gain some evasion. So it's pretty damn good against the Mountain King where you get focused a lot, and when he tries to snipe your heroes, it's just a great deal to have that. So I will try to upgrade any further, but right now I lack of lumber, so I cannot upgrade. So I'm sitting at 1-1 upgrades. For atheistp we see 0-0 upgrades. I don't think... he just started his upgrade, also queuing the first upgrades. He's at 50 supply, he's banking, so he's playing it a little bit smarter. But at the same time I'm sitting at 58 supply, so maybe he cannot approach a fight at the moment. I tried to secure the second red camp here. The first one fell to him. I think he got the crystal ball, yes. Let's see what I get. Maybe, hopefully I'm not losing any kind of priest here. And I get the Warsong battle drum, so you can see I get plus 2 damage from that as well. So I basically get one more upgrade by having the drums. So I locate myself here with the priest in the back. And you can see, you can see whenever a breaker drops low, you micro him in the back of your army and the priest will heal him up. Most of the time automatically if you got a Mountain King, because the priests are not that busy. They don't have you to heal them all the time because they are kind of full HP, as you can see it here. So they will heal up your breakers. Just micro the unit that is getting hit as soon as it hits orange. Micro it in the back of your army and make sure that it gets healed up again. So the fight breaks out, I get the militia in place. We are taking a few hits here, but I think he will kind of retreat because this is a really bad position to be in, to get sandwiched by breakers from the one side and militia from the other. The militias are not doing so much damage, but they also benefit from the upgrades. As you can see, they have 1-1 upgrade at the moment, so my militia are also kind of strong, or stronger as they were like in the start. And yeah, just make sure to use the militias whenever you can, because they bring so much more power to your army. And also the attack is the melee attack, I think, from the militia, yes. And the melee attack is doing some more damage against the breakers, if I'm not mistaken. Medium armor takes extra damage from normal attacks, yes. So the footmen as well as the militia do extra damage against the breakers. And for that, just always try to call them, as long as you have a few of them. Calling 2 maybe makes not such a big difference, but calling 5 or 6 militias is always a great deal. So next breaker fight is about to break out. I go into half speed here so that you maybe can see more of the micro that is actually going on. Of course you use attack move, and you always try to, like with the first volley, if you have a good concave, try to hit the Mountain King so that he has to move back, he loses a lot of mana points. And then after that, don't keep going at the Mountain King, because otherwise you will lose your damage output because you're chasing the hero and in the meantime he's hitting you. You don't want that. But what you want is, you want that you like maybe chase him away, get rid of a huge chunk of his mana, because the breaker burned quite sufficiently, and just make him run for his life a little bit, make his life a little bit tougher here. So 2 water elementals kind of out of position. We can see that the breakers are trying to steam into my priest here, so I micro the priest a little bit back, and with the breakers I also try to focus his priest as soon as they're out of position. I will lose a few of my priests. You have to micro them because the Mountain King and the breakers will try to kill them. At the moment we have upgrade, it's kind of equal, but I still got the battle drum, so I got +2 on my breakers. So I actually got a lead in that. I could go for a surround here on the Archmage, but it's kind of risky. I will go to normal speed once again. You can see I try to focus single breakers while he goes for my priest. This is a different approach. He wants to kill my priest so that my healing is limited, and in the meantime I try to kill his forces just to limit his damage output. It's a little bit vice versa here. But let's see, the Mountain King gets focused again, he's losing mana points. After that I let's go for the Mountain King, go for the Water Elemental, kill that, level 4 for my Panda. He looks pretty strong. Against the Mountain King you always want to have the Invo Potion or maybe a Greater Healing, transfer that to your melee hero, because he will always be in the battlefield in front. And if you for some time not micro him accordingly or send him back like soon enough before the bolt hits him, he could be in deep troubles there. So always make sure to keep good track on your Panda if you play against the Mountain King. Burn the mana on the Mountain King. Make his life as miserable as you can. Maybe even a surround? No, I'm not that famous for surrounds. Nope, and it will not happen this time. He retreats. And I could also decide to just take a fight here, yes. The Water Elemental is hitting the Priest once again. The Panda still got plenty of mana. This is not the highest level of play, definitely. I think there could be better human mirrors if I play today. This is from March when I started to get back in shape. If I would play today, it would definitely be better. I could point out more stuff, but I was really looking for a replay to see the Breaker mirror, and in all the games that I played recently, there was no Breaker mirror, because I also went tier 3 and my opponent went tier 3 and I could not point out all the stuff that I wanted to share with you guys, so I had to get back into the super old replays. But I hope this is doing the deal here, and whenever you can, if you hit your opponent and he gives you the time, use the Breath of Fire just to limit his gold line here. Because with 2 Breath of Fires you basically get rid of all the workers if he's not microing them. Also try to spawn a Waterman inside in his main base, you can see how much damage he takes from all of that. He cannot mine efficiently at this time, he's just like getting wrecked. He TPs in his forces, I'm sitting at 67 supply, he's at 51. I get the supply lead for the Wars on Battle Trumps, I get the +2, and otherwise we are kinda equal. So the Water Elemental, you can see it is always attacking the Priest here. The Panda is in the front line, is kinda looking strong. I think the item that he got gives him the safety, he can still use the big potion, nothing should really happen there. And the Priest always in the back. Sometimes the Priests are kinda stubborn and try to go into the front line, so you have to micro them back manually. One of them did that and he died with the bolt. The Water Elemental, as soon as you spawn it, just right click it onto one of the Priests so that he goes in and tries to kill that one. And this game is over at this point. And I hope that I did a good job trying to explain what I do in Human Mirror. It was kind of fast maybe sometimes, maybe you have to rewatch it one on another time. But I hope I could point out a few highlights, a few key points, especially of how maybe to upgrade your adept training for the Priest. Always get like 2 priests before you get the adept. Most of the time this is like the most efficient way, because then you will have like 2 or 3 priests already on field, they already get the mana points, they already can heal you while you try to creep. Then be aware of these phases where you want to apply pressure, where you want to creep, where you want to apply pressure once again, where you want to delay the tier 2 tech from your opponent. And then make sure that the Breath of Fire when you play Panda always hit the Priest. That the Panda also, you have to control him really carefully, that he's not getting surrounded, when he's not having any Invo Potions or anything. So this also, it takes a lot of awareness, it always takes also a lot of micro to bring all the malicious, multitasking, and so on and so on. And with the Water Elementals, keep them apart from each other, always try to focus the Priest, and then everything should go in your favor, and I hope you will have a wonderful time in Human Mirrors, and maybe you get a better understanding on what's like really happening there. Also the upgrades, always try to get upgrades when you see that your opponent, sometimes you can even overcome an expansion by just upgrading. When you have 2 upgrades and your opponent just got an expansion, sometimes you can overcome his army because your upgrades are that strong, and with a healing scroll or 2 you can heal up again, and then your forces are just, they look so strong and they do so much more DPS than your opponent wants. And sometimes you can overcome an expansion. So keep all of this stuff in mind, let me know what you think about it, subscribe to the channel and make sure that you come back for more Warcraft action. And this is it for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it, I would love to see some feedback. See you on stream guys on Twitch, bye bye.